Scanning for audio. Scanning for audio.
Welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. This time we're not going to be doing Doctor Who, we're going to be doing Star Cops. Star Cops 4.2. I know, Season 4, Series 4. We've had so much more Star Cops on audio than we ever had on TV. Released February 2024, written by Nicola Baldwin, starring David Calder and Trevor Cooper. I wish there was a bigger list on the Big Finish website of all of the other people who are in it, because let's face it, you've got a recurring, ongoing crew of about 7 now. Okay, this title was released in February, will be available to the general public March 31st. Okay, it is the near future, and mankind has expanded its presence into space. I don't know why I'm doing that. Maintaining law and order beyond Earth is the responsibility of the International Space Police Force, known colloquially as the Star Cops. Their leader is Commander Nathan Spring. You know this, let's face it, you've spent a lot of time hanging around with Star Cops, you know the drill. At the end of the last episode, the last story, an event happened that was going to make Davis a little bit off his game. And that's what we're going for. One of the team reels from a shocking discovery. An accident investigation in an orbital laboratory becomes something more sinister. Kenzy and Alice find themselves drawn into a conflict with its lead scientist. Okay, first off, if you actually want to hear some of this episode, I would go over to the Big Finish podcast and listen to it, because the drama tease a couple of weeks ago was the first 15 minutes. And that's much better than just listening to the trailer at the end of this. It's a cracking story, it really is. All of the Star Cop stuff's been great. And it is just getting better and better, because the characters are beyond embedded. They're developing and moving on, and yes, you've still got your hard sci-fi aspect. You see, with your Torchwood, and especially with your Doctor Who, you've got more of a fantasy element thrown in. You've got stuff that could or couldn't happen, you know, you've got, that's that fine line between magic and there's aliens and stuff like that. You haven't got any of that here. There are no aliens. All we are is out in space, and it's more like a Western. But it's a Western with British police sensibilities. And it just works beautifully. So in this story, yes, they want to be vague with the synopsis, but basically there is an orbiting platform where something has gone wrong. Now, you've always got the same problem with Star Cops, especially on audio. When you're recording an audio story, you have a very small cast, exceptionally small. Now, the amount of police officers they've got is expanded, so what you've always got is more police than you have other characters. So if there's a mystery, you have to establish the mystery and follow it through, and also reveal to us, the listener, what's happened. But your list of suspects is always very, very small, because you've got a very small cast. Does that make sense? So to work out what's going on is increasingly a challenge, and that could be the only limiting factor of writing for this program. But then again, limiting factors is what brings out writers' talents and provides us with some great stuff. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, you kind of go with the narrative, but here we've got something bigger. We've got the Shaman Research Station, where they're looking into the growing effects of certain things in space. Some brilliant research has gone on to this one on the behalf of the writer, and Nicola Baldwin's managed to produce a very atmospheric piece. I was very impressed. What I'm going to do, rather than give you spoilers, because you don't want to know that, is say that this is a great addition to the Star Cops range. it's a continuation of the big storyline. I don't know how I feel about them being broken into individual monthly releases, because you get to the end and you go, oh, I've got to wait another month for another episode, which is good. That's a cliffhanger. That's exactly what marketing people want. So from that point of view, it makes sense. But from my point of view, from a listener, I just want the next one. Here's the trailer and decide for yourself. Until next time, be seeing you.
From Big Finish Productions, Star Cops, Blood Moon, Daughters of Death.
No! No! Max! Max! Ah! This is my first accident investigation.
At this stage, it's an accident investigation.
And if that changes?
Suspect every bugger.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You're going to marvel at the technology and vision aboard Shaman 1.
Oh, where's that from? It's not the hangars.
The medical unit?
Oh, Jesse!
Kenzy, you there?
Not a good time, mate.
Then allow me.
Nathan!
Stand back. I want to shoot the lock.
Weeks of work, expensive experiments, jeopardized by your blundering around.
We'll keep the blundering to a minimum, Professor. But we are staying and doing our job.
Just see you don't interfere with mine.
Sophie could lead us to him.
I'd rather not rely on a civilian to lead us to a possible murderer.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.